Greetings, Earthlings. We are now taking over your radio.
Ayo, LOFF, leaders of freestyle, boy, Clash of the Titans, Imperial mic fighting. Cats simmer down, yo, you really not exciting. Claiming that you're writing, knowing that you're biting. I get the party live every time I grab the mic, son. Can't be Debo when you're Nemo. LOF, man, yo, we rock the show. Always incredible, man, you know the flow. Cypher time, come on, let's go.
It's like funk, what you heard, you're now rocking with the best. It's the mighty spoken words from them Lords of Finesse. You want a battle, we can take it to the floor, no stress. I'm a radio bum and I'm as bum as it gets. Shout out to the kings, DJ, Trones and Fiends. They've been doing it for years and they still in the scene. Graph writers, DJs, Bboys and MCs. Mile High 303, that's the place to be.
Hip-hop is DJing, grab art and breakdancing. Take chances, start raising the bar when change happens. Esto es arte y cultura, para mí no cabe duda. Cada vez que buscas más encontrarás una gran aventura. So we can school you the cool ones who come to brew some new stuff. We're so amusing with music, we used to loosen you up. Lords of Finesse, órale pues y hasta luego. Late night to MX2, we bring the fuego.
They will never last without any raza, we could let it crash. Send the cash, we the farmers of America. End it fast, like a day without a Mexican. Eso ya me tiene harto, we all immigrants. Lords of Finesse, the señores de finura. Rap for the B-boys and all the hip-hop cultura. Encontré mi fortuna en esta música escucha. 20 years strong, we go hard en la pintura.
Mile high maven, was craven all rated. Like the banks, you could save it, dropping jaws, changing faces. Stick to the arrangement, the complacent got no place here. You ain't get the invitation, we ain't got no space here. It's mountain top pop, no squat, I need all of it. Queen of the hill, but I'm trillin' so tolerant. Gives a fuck about what you callin' it, that's game like LeBron champion. Just took off my headband.
Where was I? Oh yes, Big House is the name. This is for Lords of Finesse. My flows are crossed to your chest, that's forcing your breath outwards. My outburst shows house words and leave you outworked. Yeah, now they looking like douse birds. Nothing flyer but fuck with fire, you leave the house burn. Down this earth when your spirit is crushed, that's what you feel when you hear that it's us. Trust the rush.
Peace to rock steady, this is LOF, baby. In the world of obesity, we B-boy crazy beat.
LOF to me is Denver. When I think about Lords of Finesse, I think about family. You can't separate us.
That was the cream of the crop, all city, all element crew to be down with.
LOF is my life.
Like, that's how I feel about LOF is family, and that's what a crew should be. It should be family.
You're not gonna let anything separate that but yourself. So if you're choosing to separate yourself from that family, then you can't call it anything else but a choice.
It's always been family since day one. Lords of Finesse never really died.
In 2007, I got put down with the LOF crew and been repping pretty tough ever since, and continue to rep to this day.
So got into hip hop about 83-ish, 84-ish.
History started with me and my boy Bus dancing in my basement on cardboard, and basically wanted to dance ever since I seen my big sister and my cousin Mars dancing in the 80s.
My little hip hop journey started around 93. Got down with LOF around 96. You know, just carrying on tradition. You know, peace, love, unity, having fun. You know, using our mind power without guns. You know, Lords of Finesse. You know, leaders of freestyle. I'm just the MC of the crew. So, you know, party rocking, non-stopping, always hip-hopping, encouraging, empowering, and just giving back. You know, that good true school vibe.
Been doing hip-hop since the early 90s. DJing, MCing, graffiti, and b-boying, so all four elements. That's what I do.
Started back with the Mars feud. I always loved hip hop, but started dancing with LOF by 93.
You know, when you start talking about hip hop, there's a foundation. I'm a part of the Legion of Doom, one of the foundational hip hop groups in Colorado, and closely related to the Lords of Finesse. Brother Jeff, aka Mr. Magic back in the day.
Got into hip hop as a youngster back in the day through my family.
Used to hear it on the radio. Used to hear a lot of soul and funk and R&B records. And saw some DJing on TV. Went to one of my first concerts way back in the 90s, like early 90s, and saw turntables cut it up. You could get down and throw down. And from that point on, I knew that I was going to be a DJ, or I wanted to be a DJ, and didn't have the opportunity until about 97, 98 actually.
You know, just growing up, got my fam, got peoples around me, just living, going through life. It just so happened to be. It's just the way. Can't really say much about it.
I moved to Denver from Los Angeles in 1980, and in 1980 I went to Antonito, Colorado, then to Pueblo, and then to Denver. And so I got there right on time for the blizzard that happened, this big blizzard in Denver. Mm-hmm. And so like 81, 82 was this, mainly that was what Denver was known for, this big blizzard that happened there. When that happened, I moved into a city called Arvada, and I moved into an apartment building called Brookside, and it was like the buildings were like 3 levels, and so there was like a couple of apartments on the same level. Right across from my door was a guy named Maurice Williams. So I met this guy named Maurice Williams right when I moved to Arvada, and he was the first person that taught me how to do the backslide. He actually really knew how to do it, and he told me about it, and I just kept practicing until I got it. And so by 82, I was already familiar with the backslide and the robot, and he was from Missouri. So he was telling me about a lot of things going on back east. And at that time, that's when we were finally exposed to Style Wars. And my father woke me up in the middle of the night. My father's a drummer, and he'd come back in around 3 a.m. from playing drums. And he woke me up in the middle at 3 a.m, which was like probably 6 in the morning, New York time. And we caught the end of Style Wars. And so we talked about it in school the next day, and everybody was talking about it, and we were trying to find out, did anybody get a video recording of it on their VCRs? Because at that point, not many people had one. And we waited and waited, and finally a week later, they played it again, and we were all really excited. That was really how hip-hop really found, Denver really found hip-hop in its essence.
I was introduced to b-boy and hip-hop in general, and when I saw the documentary film called Style Wars. From Style Wars, I kind of moved in from heavy metal to hip-hop, and the next day in school, everyone was trying to be a hip-hop head and wanted to be like some sort of graffiti artist or a b-boy. But the first thing that I noticed in my intention was Subway art, and I seen Scene. He was bombing on trains, and once I saw that, I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to be that type of graffiti artist.
Because before then, I really wasn't into the culture like that. And so when I came back, I really wanted to open up a shop. I said, man, I want to open up a shop. I want to have like this gear there. I want to like it to be a spot where people could come. Because Denver, you know, even from me going through like high school experience, it was really segregated based on what side of town you lived on. East side, north side, west side, what have you. So I wanted a spot that anybody could go to. So I opened up a spot on 20th and Larimer, and people just started coming. And three of the guys that started coming regularly was Voice, Fiends, and Mars. And those 3 brothers, I developed like a familial connection with, and we just started chilling a lot. And they really kind of became a part of the shop. We all started just doing things collectively, and they were breaking still. And so they practiced at the shop. We all have black books. We just sketch. I was getting into graffiti more, so we were just painting. We were doing different things. We started throwing events, little jams and stuff, little battles. And the shop became a hub. The shop became a hub, I think, where Denver hadn't really had a hub during this time period. This is like 92. So at that point, we were just wanting to learn a lot more about hip hop. We were learning about Zulu Nation. You know, we were like, man, this is so dope, man. Me and Fiends used to be like, yo, I think we should get down with this. What do you think, Fiends? He's like, yeah, we should get down, yo. this is the real deal. So me and him both applied. We were waiting to see if, we would get accepted and get our ID cards and be part of Zulu Nation. And we were just like learning more and getting more and more. I was getting more and more into hip hop. So that's kind of like, that's really when I consider the start of my journey really into the culture. And it really mainly hit home when I saw you guys' performance, your Ghetto Original performance in Boulder, when we all went out there to watch that. I had one of those, life-changing moments. And I really credit both you guys, because I think if I hadn't seen that, I don't really know if I would have gone this route in life. I don't know what I would have done. I might have just gone the other route, because I was kind of stuck in a weird pattern, because I had opened up the shop to make it non-gang related, but then it started getting gang related because this one gang started hanging out there all the time. And then I started dating one of the dudes in the gang. And I was like sitting there watching you guys' show. And it just hit me. I was like, yo, I want to do that. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. And it was a confirmation, and I just never looked back.
Yeah, I mean, my original crew, Fresh Kids, their legacy that they came from is called Break Till Dawn, which was in 78, 79. I started my own not-for-profit in 96, but it was a crew before that called Full Circle. I started that, but the poor man's copyright to that already, like in 88, 89, I believe. The original members to that were Clown, Storm, Swift Rock, and a whole slew of others, Shaky Shake, Bam Bam, whole bunch of people, Speedy. And so ever since hip hop saved my life. So I was a foster kid, and for me, hip hop adopted me.